Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wa beginning of Allah, we're praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, peace and blessings upon His final Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So I can hear you.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
One more time. Okay. It is obligatory on us to say sallallahu alayhi wa sallam after the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to send peace and blessings on the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right? So when I do it, when you hear the name of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, we send salam on him, we also get 10 deeds for it. Right? And 10 deeds of yours, 10 bad deeds of yours will be forgiven. And it's compulsory on us to do so. So, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Much better, much better. You know, Tariq was talking about Tawbah, and I just wanted to remind you guys that, just a few gems here to really think about, is that, some scholars, they commentate that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's real name, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's real name is Ar-Rahman. Right? And the reason why they say that is because in certain places in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where you would expect to find Allah, Allah uses Ar-Rahman. Right? For example, we don't say Allah, Allama al-Quran, Khalaqa al-Insan, Allamahu al-Bayan. We don't say that, do we? We say Ar-Rahman, the merciful. Allama al-Quran. He taught speech, he taught Quran. So anyway, going forward with that, inshallah, I just want to remind you that, it is, for me, a very big blessing to be in this gathering. Primarily because, and I hope you guys realize this, it is a very, 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 very big blessing to be in this gathering. Primarily because of one thing. I'm talking about as an attendee. Forget about actually being speaking here or anything like that. I'm talking about as an attendee. For me to be called here tonight is such a big blessing. To be around people like you guys is a big blessing for me. And I always say this to you guys, right? So that you guys can quantify and realize what is it the favor that Allah has put upon you guys. How many people right now are sleeping? How many people right now are doing something else? How many people wasted their night in play, in enjoyment, in whatever? But you guys have came to this masjid tonight to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the last third of the night, He comes down from the highest heaven. Now imagine, He is the Lord of the world. Everything, willingly or unwillingly, will answer to Him. He has created everything in this world. There is nobody above Him. Everything is below Him. He comes down, His majesty comes down from the highest heaven to the lowest heaven to ask, which of my servants are worshiping me so that I may forgive them? Which of my servants are asking me so I can give them? I am honored to be invited to be amongst your guys' presence. Jazakallah khair for allowing me to be here with you guys. This is the opportunity that you've been given. Know it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored you amongst how many other people? Whatever the case may be. Maybe you guys didn't intend to be here tonight, somebody dragged you here, and you ended up here. But Allah favored you to be here tonight. And so Allah favors some people over others. And He favors some things over other things. Right? And it's up to us to realize when that bounty is bestowed on us, whatever that ability is, that we take advantage of it. Because that is the way we show gratitude to the gifts we've been given. We don't toss them aside and act like and ignore them. We take advantage of them, we recognize them, we realize what they are when they're being given to us. So, the other blessing that's coming to us very shortly, it's on our doorstep, is that month. That month that comes only once a year. Ramadan. It's Shahru Ramadan, it's here. Today we're talking about it's gonna be here, tomorrow it will be here, and the day after that it will be gone. And the reason why I say it is a blessing for us is because I want you to know, if you get to experience, and notice I say if you get to experience Ramadan, please take advantage of this blessing that's coming your way. Please, please, please take advantage of this blessing that's coming your way. Why do I say that? Because I want you to know that death is an equal opportunity type of person. It's an equal opportunity thing. It doesn't discriminate against your age, your color, your creed, any of those things. Right? Just like when you go to apply for a job, it says, we are an equal opportunity employer, we don't discriminate against whatever like that. Same thing with death. If you go to any cemetery, you will not find a certain age range of people. There's everybody is there. 5 years old, 10 years old, 15, 20, 25, all the way to 75. And nobody lives forever. Right? So realize that if you have the opportunity, some of you, nobody's guaranteed. Nobody's guaranteed in this room to see this Ramadan that's coming. It's 22 days away. It's going to be here like it's going to be tomorrow. But there's no guarantee for any one of you that you will see it. And if you are blessed enough to see it, there's no guarantee that you will see the end of it. And if you are blessed to see the end of it, there is no guarantee that you will see the next one. This is what is on your doorstep right now. This is what is on your doorstep right now. This blessing. Right? So I want you guys to think about this. This Ramadan is like the finals of the NBA. It's all or nothing here. It's all or nothing. It's high stakes. Everything comes down to this. So this is why, like the Sahaba, they used to think about Ramadan, and they used to think that they would spend 6 months preparing for Ramadan, just in prep. 6 months was like the preseason, right? And if you look at any finals, you see there's everybody's watching, everybody's taping the game. Every coach is taping the game. What is he taping the game for? He was already there. What is he taping the game for? Who knows? Who knows?
To go back and look for mistakes.
To go back and look for mistakes. And this is what the Sahaba used to do. That they would spend the 6 months after Ramadan saying, okay, what didn't we do? How are we going to get this right? How are we going to sort this out? Even though they know there's no Ramadan guaranteed for them. There's no Ramadan guaranteed for them. This is how much emphasis they put on it. 6 months preparation, 6 months, post-season. Watching the tape, running the tape over again. All right, this is where, if we had driven over here, if we had shot on the perimeter, you see this guy was open over here, that was the opportunity. You see this camel lil we missed over here, you see this dabble we ate too much over here, you see this we did over here, that was a mistake. That's the value that they put on this month. This is not a preseason type of, Ramadan is not a preseason type of month. We're going to learn how to dribble a ball and how to run it up and down the court. This is showtime. Why? Every minute of this month counts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has broken up this month into 3 parts. Who knows those 3 parts? The first 10 days is the month of? The first 10 days of Ramadan is the month of? Who knows? Go ahead.
Is it Shaban?
No. The first day, that's another month, man. I don't blame you, it's late. Okay, so no worries.
Mercy.
Who said mercy?
Mercy.
It's close.
Forgiveness.
Who said it? Yeah, that's it right there. It's forgiveness. What about the second 10 days? Mercy. And the third?
How to save yourself from the hellfire.
Yes. The third is to save yourself from the hellfire. Right? So in this month, there's like 3 quarters. It's even been divided up. That these are the things that are happening here. Right? So, sorry, I'm kind of trying to remember what I was trying to get at here in this order. So, even in this month, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is divided into 3 quarters. For us to emphasize, how to take advantage of it. And what opportunities are available to us in this month. And we're all familiar with that ayah. The famous ayah about fasting. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, fasting has been prescribed upon you. Fasting has been, actually He prefaces that, He says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe. Ya ayyuhalladhina, O you who believe. So, fasting has been prescribed upon you. As it has been prescribed upon the people before you. For what purpose? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may become pious. Now I want you guys to think about a few things here in this ayah, okay? First of all, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, He addresses this ayah to a certain group of people. Okay? So I want you to think about the category. He didn't say, he could have said, Ya ayyuhan nas, right? O mankind. He could have said, O Muslims. He could have said a lot of things. But he chose to use a specific category. Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, O you who believe. Right? And the word amana, right? It comes from the same word as mu'min. And there's a big difference between mu'min and Muslim. What's the difference? Does anybody know? What's the difference? Mu'min and Muslim. Who knows? Guys, not all at once. Not all, yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
A Muslim is the one who has testified to the oneness of Allah and to that Isa is his last messenger.
Yeah.
But a mu'min is the one who does everything for the sake of Allah, but his intention is for Allah.
Yeah, that's about right. So basically what we're talking about is we're talking about two ranks. Right? For example, like a Muslim is, someone can be a mu'min and he is a Muslim. But someone can be a Muslim and he's not at that rank of mu'min. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. He's talking about this higher rank. Oh, you people who believe. And then he says, Kutiba alaykum as-siyamakum. Right? Fasting has been prescribed upon you. Now let me ask you a question. When you go to a doctor and he writes your prescription, does he write you the prescription because you're healthy?
No.
No. Why does he write you the prescription? Because you're sick. So prescriptions are what? They are cures. They are medicines for your sickness. And what sickness is that? That's the sickness of the heart. Right? And we should be aware that this fasting is not a fasting of our stomachs. Because Allah is not in need of anything, right? He's not in need of our hunger. He's not in need of our food. He's not in need of our wealth. Nothing, right? If everybody here today, everyone in this world, praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we built a masjid on every house, right? If people made masjid their office place, their workplace, their everything, it would not make Allah's magnificence anymore. And if nobody decided to do it, it would not take away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's magnificence. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of your hunger or your food. He is not in need of any of those things. So this fasting is not just a fasting of the stomachs, but it is a fasting of the what? Of the eyes. It is a fasting of the mouth. It is a fasting of the hand. Right? And I want you to think about this month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He takes things that are usually halal for us, and He makes them unlawful. In this month, for example, eating. Eating is halal. Right? For those of us who are married, right? Relationships with your wife is acceptable. But in this month, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for a portion of the day, He makes it unlawful. For what purpose? For what purpose?
To strengthen our nafs.
To strengthen our nafs and to crush what else?
Our desires.
Our desires. To crush our desires and to strengthen our nafs. So if we want, right? If we want to get ready for Ramadan, what should we be preparing for? What should we be doing?
Training our nafs.
We should be training our nafs. We should be crushing our desires. We should realize that in a month, I'm gonna be in a month that every minute of my time is multiplied. The reward is multiplied. Right? I'm gonna be in a month where the gates of Jahannam are closed. And the gates of Jannah are open, are wide open. That Allah's mercy, right, is like a storm. Remember a few years ago we had that storm that flooded like all of like Skokie and his plains, and like, half of us were like underwater, and like, our third floor was like, full of water, and like, our whole house was turning fish tanks basically, right? So I want you to think about this. That is what this month is. And if we are heedless in this month, it is like we're denying the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want you to think about something. If you're standing outside and it's raining and you're not wet, what are you doing? You're holding this umbrella to shield you away from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is hitting everything around you, but you are encapsulating yourself away from this. Why? Fold this umbrella up and put it away. And enjoy the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that's coming to you. You understand? See, this month is not like any other month. Every minute of this month is not replaceable. Every day of this month, every night of this month, you can't get this back. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, woe! Woe unto the person that experiences this month and he has not had his sins forgiven. Woe unto the person that experiences this month and he has not had his sins forgiven. Why? Because the gates of Jahannam are closed. So imagine if you're sinning in this month, it's like you're going to the gates of Jahannam and you're knocking on the door. Can you let me in, please? That's what it's like. You know, like the Prophet ﷺ said, I am like a person who is like, trying to get the flies away from the fire. I'm trying to push them back and they're coming forward. Because they're attracted to what's behind me. So this is what we're talking about here. That every opportunity is being given to us. Whatever it is that we understand. If we understand hasanat, if we understand multiplication, Allah is saying, I'll do that. If we understand that, look, hell is enticing, Allah is saying, I close the doors. There's no going in there. No matter what you do, I'm not going to let you go there. It's done. The shayateen, they push us. No, I'll tie them up. What excuse do we have? So we have to prepare ourselves. So in every minute of this month, that day that Maghrib sets on the first day, we are ready. We are telling Ramadan, I am ready for you. And that day, when Eid is announced, we are sad. Because we know that no matter what we've done, we have not done enough to take advantage of this month. We have not done enough to take advantage of this month. Okay, so in short, I thought about this for a little bit, and there are a few things. So first and foremost is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of every thing, He chooses something to be the best of it. Like from all of mankind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose some prophets, some people to be prophets. And out of some of the prophets, He chose some of them to rank higher than others. And out of all of those, He chose one person. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This side of the room. Guys, everybody. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There you go, much better. Okay. Out of all of the prophets, He chose one. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Good. So, similarly, right? Out of all of the time of the year, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose 1 month. He honored 1 month. Right? And out of all of that, the days in that month, Allah chose 1 night. And as I reminded you earlier, out of the entire night, Allah chose 1 time, the last third of this night. What night am I talking about? Laylatul Qadr. As Brother Shazuddin recited in the Salah, right? That this night is better. Is better than 1,000 months. Right? On this night. And this night can be found in the odd nights of Ramadan. In the odd nights of Ramadan. Right? In the last 10. 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, 29th, right? We have this like cultural baggage where everyone's like, it might be the 27th. Let's everybody shows up whatever like that, right? But there are some signs of when this night has occurred after it's occurred. right? And you guys can look those up or like that, but they are there, right? And here's the thing, we should really look very carefully for this night, because if Eid is on the wrong day, if Ramadan starts on the wrong day, and our 21 is actually the 20th, right? We might get our nights confused. Okay? So it is important for us for these last 10 nights to really capitalize on them. Right? To really save ourselves from the hellfire. To make ittaqaf. Right? To pray the nafil in the night. Right? To do all of these things. To make ourselves become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To save ourselves from the hellfire. Right? And I want to just remind you about one thing, is that at everything, even how good or how awesome it is, nothing lives forever. The seal of the prophets, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? The seal of the prophets had to go, passed away. Laylatul Qadr will end, and Ramadan will end. And Ramadan will end as well, right? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, He says in the beginning of Surah Tabarak, He says, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim." He says, "Tabarak alladhi biyadihi al-mulk, Tabarak alladhi biyadihi al-mulk, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir, alladhi khalaqa al-mawta wal hayata liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala, wa huwa al-ghafur al-aziz, wa huwa al-aziz al-ghafur." Asif. So Allah says, blessed is the one in whose hand is the dominion. And He is on everything, its owner or its decider. The one who created death and life, to see which one of you is the best in deeds. Right? To see which one of you. And everything will have its life and its death. And Ramadan will have its life and it will have its death. And we should know that as these things pass, as these milestones pass, we also have our life and death ahead of us to consider. The other thing, and I'll leave with this inshallah, is that we should look at Ramadan as a checkpoint for the year. This is a time to evaluate ourselves. From last Ramadan till this Ramadan, where have we been? What is our relationship with the Quran? What has our relationship been with the Book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What are our shortcomings? How is our Fajr prayer? How often do we visit the masjid? Right? And where do we want to be? Do we want to be here next Ramadan saying the same thing? Man, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, XYZ is wrong, this, Do we want to be doing the same thing? Or do we want to see our growth year after year? All right, we're getting better. So this is what it is. This is a training ground for us to reflect on where we have been this year and realize where we want to be next year. And use this month as a catalyst. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان في خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.